right, we're out here on our Skylar 60 today. We purchased this farm last August, so it was late to the game to get anything done. So similar to our Iowa farm, we wanted to kind of hunt it and see it in its natural form, which is what we did last year. And what we determined from August throughout the season is this property has giant deer, so big bucks, which is awesome. We had a couple booners. Gabe actually missed a booner in November during archery season. So it's got great bucks, great genetics, big deer, but it doesn't have a ton of deer, and this property doesn't hold a lot of them. And the reason it doesn't hold a lot is because it's got a bunch of cedars in here. So out of the 60 acres, about 10 acres of it are these cedar thickets that these deer can't get into. So today we're doing a few different things. We got a big bulldozer out here. We're gonna doze out a lot of these trees today in these different areas to open it up, create sunlight, and create different habitat that will hold more deer. It's gonna allow the farm to get thicker. So that's number one. So we're gonna work on that, about 4 different spots on the farm that we'll show you. We're gonna design them while we do that to different stand locations, different blinds. And then the other thing we're doing is we're adding food. We got 2 food sources that we're gonna add, strategic plots. We got a redneck we're gonna put up, build the whole property kind of around this center spot. And then the other thing we're doing is we took 10 acres of ag and we're putting it into switchgrass and habitat grasses. So we're pretty excited about that. And then we still have 20 some acres that we have to beans. So we got it all going on. We're gonna flip this farm in 6 hours today. Complete transformation. We're gonna set a record and do some damage today.
All right, so we got Trevor on the dozer. This was just super thick with mature, really old and big cedars that were just clogged up the whole thing. Deer could not move through there at all. And it's a sweet southeast facing slope. So we're going in there and scalping it. There is a ditch in there. He's pushing it down in the ditch, and then coming up here, we're gonna turn this into a food plot here. We're gonna build a wall along the row crop edge. And it's nice and secluded, a lot of good security. And we're gonna increase bedding in here. Southeast facing is gonna be great for our switchgrass blend. And then a nice food source and potentially a redneck right on our corner here. So great access, overlooking food and cover. It's gonna be a nice one.
We're on the south side of our phase 1, that first little bowl we've been working on. So this is kind of part 2. So we set that one spot up on the north end of this, added a little food plot, cleared all those cedars out. Now this is on the south end of that bowl, and right here was all a bunch of cedars that they weren't using. So we dozed those all out. And then if you look here, there's a ditch. And that ditch right there, that forces deer to either be on one side or the other when they come through. So we found a cedar tree that I'm standing next to here. So we'll have this cedar, we'll be on the west side of the ditch. So we'll be able to hunt this with any northeast or any east wind. Then we already have a stand on the other side over on the east side for any west wind. And then we're gonna punch a dozer trail right out into the standing beans. So it'll be a sweet spot. So we got 2 locations here now for either wind, and it's really starting to become one of the only ways these deer can traverse this area. So this is the center of the farm, main hub, what we're kind of designing everything towards. Right here we're dozing out where the redneck's gonna go. It's gonna go in between those 2 trees. It'll be hidden in there real nice behind some cedars. But you can kind of see all the way around me. Field food plot's gonna be on this high crown. And then everywhere else we took out a tillable and we put into basically switchgrass, some bedding mix. But there'll be about a 2-acre food plot here. It kind of has the shape of an hourglass. Set up here in a redneck, mostly south winds when we're, bow hunting, especially the last few years. Perfect for a south wind setup. So we have plenty of bedding now. Draw them into the middle, have a sweet blind, keep our scent down. And there's a huge ditch behind there anyway, so good access. Everything's shaping up well for this spot. All right, now we're in here with what we call Finger 2, which is on the northeast end of our property. Previous owners, looks like, had like a 2-track in through here that they used. It's been overgrown now for years, and the cedars are encroaching again. So we're widening it out a little bit, trying not to disturb too much of this natural browse and grasses that are growing, because it's kind of nice. But we're gonna add some food in here, little plot, little clover trail, and just open it up to give us more options and push back. You can see these cedars in here. Push back all these cedars, open it up, and get it to where we need it to be. So again, right now it's probably 10 foot wide, so we're gonna open it up, get more out of it. So you can see the difference in what we're doing here with these cedars. Again, it's about 11 acres, 10 acres. And if you look at this, it's just thick, nasty, no sunlight. Nothing can even walk through there. It's super brittle. So we're trying to clear this all out. We cut this out a couple weeks ago, and you can just see how much sunlight comes in here. So this is all southeast facing. So we're gonna take all these other cedars behind me. It's probably 100 yards long, 50 yards wide, and we're just gonna doze them all out of here and let the natural sun get in. So we'll hold a lot more deer, and we'll give you another video here to show you what the after looks like. These areas are really cool too. We left these huge cedar trees. There's like 3 of them here, but everywhere we did this, we left those big trees. This is all, I'm facing south-southeast, so these trees are gonna be perfect bedding spots for future kings. So once this thing starts taking off and growing up in here, this will be a great spot for a king to lay for sure.